put your hands up if you feel like giving up in life. Now put them back down because you haven't tested what Matrix has gone through.
Na kwani nani anakuanga na hii Matrix? Wala sasa kaingia makalio ikaamua kuketi, kichwa ikaamua kuenda.
Yeah, this is him. And from where I'm standing, he looks like that uncle of yours who has a fetish for cheap community busa. That's because he is. And stooping that low for a vehicle that aspired for Kenya 1 seat just a few months ago is insane. So what happened? Did he just happen to carelessly lose all Nganya elections in hopes of forming a coalition with the winner? No. What else would Raila be doing? He's there for that. Was he given a one-time ultimatum the moment he set wheel on the streets? Hypothetically, yes. And to fully understand that, we need to circle back a couple of months. Matrix was bought from an investor in 2024 at a whopping price of 8.7 million Kenya shillings. And by that time, he was already in business, having an already present brand. Meaning, he had a different designer from his GK siblings, Mood and Manifest. He went ahead and became one of the most successful Matatus on the streets, rocking a black body with green-lined graphics and a complete classic Matrix movie-inspired motif. He had huge Mercedes Actros tracked side mirrors costing about 80,000 shillings, and his shoe game was out of this world. His grill was straight out a Nissan Navara, costing up to about 50,000 shillings, and that's just to show you how much the investor had done for this vehicle. And just like the exterior, his interior maintained the green-black theme, only with over 10 screens all over, including the cockpit and behind the seats. His music system was complete with heavy bass, mid-range speakers, and tweeters picking up all forms of music-possessed Gen Zs to all people who still know the value of the blue pill. But all that hard work brings about some crazy burnout, and that's why some people choose to have their mattress on the floor. So in late 2024, he went for reconstruction, or RICO in other words, and here's where things started to go south for him. Thing number one is that Matrix took time off at a time when Matatu competition was at its peak, right before the 2024 Nganya Awards. This paved way for other big boys like Opposite to gain more ground. And apparently, in this situation, he could not pull off what Manifest had just pulled off overnight. Waking up and he's number one. Like father, like son, I guess. Thing number two is that the reconstruction was not being done by the original designer. And allegedly, this new designer was Bahati. And that's just the new word for trash. Don't worry about it. Allegedly, he fumbled the original face of Matrix, causing some very serious brand damage to the vehicle. Matrix then came back to the street a couple of months later. And of course, a large number of youths flocked the streets just to witness what was going on. Little they did know that this was not the Matrix they knew from before, and it was not until a couple of months later that they saw his true colors. Unlike the old Matrix, this new Matrix had become mainstream. He was spotted several times in social media and the news, showcasing stunts only Alicia Kanini is worthy of performing. A vehicle, and specifically a bus, performing these stunts brings about some very heavy negative publicity. And to add salt to porridge, keep in mind that by this time, Matrix had changed operational routes a couple of times, and this was confusing to his legal stage fans. At some point in time, one of his drivers was arrested and arraigned in court for traffic violations, such as operating without permit, not wearing appropriate uniform, ignoring police officers. Now that kind of makes sense because, and many others.
Number KBN 429N, make to choose a minibus Matatu, branded as Matrix, with bit of start or cause inconvenience to other road users.
These kind of moves and stunts and many others were frowned upon by Sacco management, leading to the recent driver suspensions, and further destroying the already built hype that the driver had with the fans and the vehicle. To cut the long story short, while Matrix was fighting his legal and stunt addiction problems, new signings like Optimus Prime and Mood were having their fair share of Matrix fans. Hata Heartless alikuwa anamgongea. This left Matrix almost forgotten at the bus stop, and I can only imagine the depression he had, being sidelined by his own GK siblings like Mood and Manifest. Recently, he has been just up and about, doing the abandoned bus equivalence of a drunk uncle, getting involved in accident, and finding himself in trenches, literally.
Jamaa maamua hepe jama apitie saidi ya chini pali bridge ilikonga kitambo kabla hajaiweka hiyo highway. Wala sasa kaingia makalio ikaamua kuketi, kichwa ikaamua kuenda. Na saizo ni saa mbili hapo train ndio inataka kurudi. Ilikuwa saa moja actually. Saa moja. Sasa unashindwa rada ya huyo jamaa. Ilikuwa tu kidogo iende.
And just like that, the once GOAT and Kenya 1 aspirant has turned into a mobile stone. As of now, the more he stays in the game, the more he looks tired. I think it might be time for Neo One to take some time off and come back with a bigger comeback. Tell me what you think down in the comment section. Should he take a Rico break or should he soldier on? With that being said, go watch something else and see you on the next one.
Watu wangu, mtakubali wase. At least wameanza kurudisha watu walikuwa suspension. Hiyo ni poa, vijana wafanye.